A woman is dead after an incident at the NDSU Equine Center. We'll tell you what we know so far.
And a new fraternity is coming to NDSU.
You're watching Bison Information Network News. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The woman who suffered serious injuries from a horse at the NDSU Equine Center Tuesday has died.
Kim Elliott was transporting a horse when it was suddenly frightened and then kicked off and trampled Elliott on the ground. Elliott was rushed to a nearby hospital soon after the incident and was pronounced dead Wednesday, as reported by her friends and colleagues. NDSU Police and University Media Relations have still yet to confirm this news. Elliott leaves behind 2 adult children.
This week, the NDSU IT Help Desk warns students to be aware of email scams. Things they want students to be aware of are any email attachments that ask you to run macros, which are applications ran in Microsoft Documents. They urge people to report the message by forwarding it to ndsu.reportafish@ndsu.edu. And lastly, to call the IT Help Desk if you've opened any suspicious attachment or clicked on any suspicious links.
The Innovation Challenge finals took place earlier this week. Bison Information Network reporter Sam Goodman was there to see the best proposals the event had to offer.
The prestigious Innovation Challenge gave their final pitch to judges Tuesday night in front of a crowd full of people.
I think tonight's Innovation Challenge was a huge success. We had all of 12 top teams that came and they really represented all of their schools well. We had Baylor, Mayville State, MSUM, NDSU. Lots of teams were represented tonight, and I really think that they did a great job. They worked hard. They came and prepped for weeks. I mean, they've been really doing this since September, and this is just a culmination of all their hard work. So I'm impressed. Innovation Challenge 2020 is kicking off right now, and we hope to see you next year.
Next, I interviewed DeBard Engineering, whose slogan is decreasing friction today so future generations won't have to.
So we created the DeBard system, which is a bacteria-based lubrication system designed to decrease friction within turbines.
In 2015, there was a research paper published that expressed that whenever you have bacteria in a high concentration inside of a nutrient-rich solution, whenever you supplied any sort of shear force or any sort of momentum to the bacteria, that depending on the actual magnitude of that shear force, the friction associated with the bacteria continuing to flow would decrease. We waited until around 2018 before we actually did anything with this because we want to ensure that other research papers confirmed the effect.
Finally, I interviewed Luke and Mason Stetler, who traveled all the way from Waco, Texas to compete in the challenge.
So we owned an off-season tire storage software company. And we're from Baylor University, and we came up here to present to people who are in our market, being in North Dakota, and hopefully get some good feedback and talk to people about our idea. After thinking through a couple ideas, we finally landed on a software that could help dealerships start their own programs to help with stuff like customer retention.
Do you feel you have what it takes to compete in the innovative challenge? You don't know unless you try. Samuel Goodman, Bison Information Network News.
If you are interested in taking part in the Innovation Challenge next year, visit ndsu.edu.
Last Tuesday, the city of Fargo held its annual holiday tree lighting at the depot. The event was free and open to the public and includes free s'mores and hot chocolate. This year, the tree was donated to the Fargo Park District by Steve and Carol Hansen and will be on display at the depot and other locations through the new year. The tree lighting was followed by the annual Fargo Lights Parade, where NDSU President Dean Brashani served as the Grand Marshal. The Lights Parade and the tree lighting are popular events in the Fargo-Moorhead area as they kick off the holiday season.
Any talented writers at NDSU will be able to show off their work during the 5th Annual Student Writing Showcase on December 9th. The showcase is meant to celebrate student writers and the achievements they have made as they share projects from a variety of classes. The event will be held in the Great Plains Ballroom in the Memorial Union from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Students will display their works from all levels and disciplines, including first-year writing, professional, scientific writing, media writing, music composition, and more. Judges from NDSU and the local public will be present to award prizes for impressive work.
NDSU's Greek life is getting a brand new member. Phi Delta Theta is the newest fraternity opening up a chapter at NDSU. The fraternity has been accepted as of now, but will be on a trial period to see if its members can bring good qualities to Greek life. Students wishing to rush Phi Delta Theta will have the opportunity next semester once all of the other Greek life's rushes have been completed. For more information, visit ndsugreek.com or contact any of the interfraternity council members.
NDSU is hosting a holiday open house next week. President Dean Brashani sent an email to all students inviting them to stop by for snacks and conversation.
The open house will be from 2 to 4 p.m. on Wednesday, December 11th in the old main building and is free for everyone. For more information, visit ndsu.edu.
Now let's take a look at this week's weather in the Fargo-Moorhead area. But first, check out this snowman found just outside Dinan Hall with a little cat friend sitting at its side. Fargo received about 9 inches of snow over the weekend, so some students got creative. Weather for today was like most other days this week, right around freezing and cloudy skies. But tonight, temperatures are going to drop significantly, down to around 4 degrees, quickly freezing any melted snow from this week. Over to our 7-day forecast, the next 2 days aren't looking too unbearable, especially Saturday with the expected high of around 32 degrees. That's good Bison football tailgating weather for this time of year. Sunday, there is a slight chance of snow in the area, but the rest of the forecast looks to be on the chillier side. A high of just 2 degrees on Monday and a chance of negative teens on Tuesday are less than favorable conditions. Wednesday, we may not even get out of the negatives, but we should for Thursday. Be sure to tune in next week for your finals week forecast.
Looks like we're going to need to bundle up next week. Still to come on Bison Information Network News, what you need to know about student housing for the 2020 to 2021 school year.
And why you won't be seeing the signature Bison logo paired with NDSU academics.
President Trump has been in London gathering with world leaders for the NATO meeting. Back in Washington, the impeachment process kicks into high gear. CNN's Jim Acosta reports.
Hanging over his every move, President Trump all but accused Democrats of sabotage as he's set to sit down with NATO leaders in London.
The Democrats, the radical left Democrats, the do-nothing Democrats, decided when I'm going to NATO, this was set up a year ago, that when I'm going to NATO, that was the exact time. This is one of the most important journeys that we make as president. The whole thing is a hoax. Everybody knows it.
Scrambling for a headline that will help him, the president is seizing on comments made by the leader of Ukraine about their infamous July 25th phone call.
If you notice, there was breaking news today. The Ukrainian president came out and said very strongly that President Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. That should be case over. But he just came out a little while ago and he said President Trump did absolutely nothing wrong and that should end everything.
But that's not quite what the Ukrainian president said. As he complained to Time magazine, he believed Mr. Trump wasn't exactly treating him like a true ally when the U.S. held up military aid to his country, stating, "Look, I never talked to the president from the position of a quid pro quo. I don't want us to look like beggars. But you have to understand, we're at war. If you're our strategic partner, then you can't go blocking anything for us. I think that's just about fairness." The president will be in London for NATO meetings, so he won't be participating in the latest round of impeachment proceedings in the House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday. Neither will White House attorneys, who told committee chairman Jerry Nadler in a letter, "Under the current circumstances, we do not intend to participate in your Wednesday hearing." Democrats are accusing Republicans of hiding behind arguments about the process.
I think the White House has put itself in a straitjacket of its own making by questioning the legitimacy of the constitutional process. And by questioning that legitimacy, it makes it very difficult for them to participate.
Some of the president's top defenders are going further than that, fueling bogus conspiracy theories pushed by the Russians that Ukraine was meddling in the 2016 election.
I think both Russia and Ukraine meddled in the 2016 election. I think it's been well documented.
Louisiana GOP Senator John Kennedy has twisted himself into a pretzel on the issue, resurrecting the Ukraine talking point after he seemed to back away from it last week.
I was wrong. The only evidence I have, and I think it's overwhelming, is that it was Russia who tried to hack the DNC computer.
That's what the consensus is.
I've seen no indication that Ukraine tried to do it.
That was enough to earn some presidential praise where it counts, on Twitter. "Thank you to great Republican Senator John Kennedy," the president tweeted, "for the job he did in representing both the Republican Party and myself."
Neither President Trump nor his lawyers were at the impeachment proceedings that resumed Wednesday.
You might have noticed that the Bison logo hasn't been on recent clothing from academic departments. That's because over the summer, NDSU Athletics made the trademark Bison mascot logo only available to represent the sports team at the university. Academic departments here on campus are only able to use logos that are representative of the entire university. There are 3 Bison logos that will no longer be associated with academics at NDSU.
The impossible is now possible in NDSU's new play. The current production from the Fine Arts program is called A Dream Play. The story focuses on a young woman named Agnes who goes on a journey to find the meaning of life. The only problem is that the time and place do not exist in this world. The play was originally written by August Strindberg in 1901, but has been slightly adapted. The first showing is tonight at 7:30 in Askenaze Auditorium. There will be additional shows on the 6th, 7th, and the 11th through the 14th at 7:30. For more information, go to ndsu.edu/performingarts.
With the first semester coming to a close, it is time for the first-year students to consider their living options for the next academic school year. Residence hall options include Cater Hall, Matthew Living and Learning Center, and Niskanen Hall. Any upperclassmen who would like to live in Bergham, Stockbridge, Weibel, or Reed and Johnson may reserve any double occupancy as a super single. Brand new this year, you may reselect your current room to live in for next year. Any double occupancy spaces purchased as singles will be returning to doubles next year. The exceptions for reselection are rooms in North Weibel, the Engineering Leadership Learning Community, and the Health Professions Learning Community. You can apply for residence hall living from January 27th.
Together off campus.
I'm getting an apartment or renting a house with a few friends.
For those wanting an apartment, NDSU offers 1701, Bison Court, Niskanen Expansion, and University Village. You can apply for apartments anytime. Up next on Bison Information Network News, how to reduce your risk of heart disease.
And a popular band is coming to Fargo this summer. We'll be right back.
More than 600,000 people die of heart disease in the U.S. every year.
And a new study suggests heart health needs to start early in life. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
It's the #1 killer of Americans, but a new study suggests people middle-aged and younger can help prevent future heart disease by lowering cholesterol. The research published in the medical journal Lancet suggests changing diet and exercise habits earlier in life, or even talking to a doctor about taking statins, may make future heart problems less likely. The study tracked records of nearly 400,000 people in 19 countries between the ages of 30 to 85. Researchers found the group most at risk for heart problems related to non-HDL cholesterol later in life were people under 45 years old. The authors say, hypothetically, if people in the under 45 age group cut their non-HDL cholesterol levels in half, they'd reduce the risk of later heart problems significantly, from about 29% to 6% for men and 16% to 4% for women. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Ways to lower risk of heart disease, including staying at a healthy weight, limiting alcohol, don't smoke, and control your blood pressure.
If you're looking for clubs to become a part of next semester, the Spring 2020 Student Involvement Expo is a great place to start. This is a video from last spring's Involvement Expo. The expo is available to students who are interested in finding more information about the 270 plus clubs offered here at NDSU. The video appears to not be playing, but the event is set to take place from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Great Plains Ballroom at the Memorial Union on January 22nd.
And the movie awards go to Family Dysfunction. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Any more? Was there no video?
Video was excellent.
The divorce drama Marriage Story is the big winner at this year's Gotham Awards, honoring independent film. It won Best Feature, Best Actor for Adam Driver, Best Screenplay, and the Audience Award. Best Actress went to Awkwafina for another film about a family in turmoil, The Farewell.
Merry Christmas and Happy
David Archuleta has a holiday gift for his fans. He's announced a 2020 North American tour. He'll set out March 30th in Los Angeles on the OK All Right tour, hitting 30 cities between then and mid-May.
I'll do my best to make it so. Thank you.
Sir Patrick Stewart is set to be honored at a black tie gala in Los Angeles next month, and the specific tribute may surprise you. Stewart will receive this year's Distinguished Artisan Award for his 6 decades of stage and screen work at the 7th Annual Makeup Artists and Hairstylists Guild Awards. When your bald and hairstylists honor you, you're doing something right. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Maroon 5 plans to make a tour stop here in Fargo, North Dakota at the Fargo Dome on August 8th. Not only will the 3-time Grammy Award-winning band play, but another popular singer, Meghan Trainor, will open the show along with Leon Bridges. Pre-sale tickets will go on sale December 9th for American Express and Citi Card members, and on December 13th, tickets will be available to the general public.
Coming up after the break, playoff football is returning to the Fargo Dome.
We'll have a live report telling you what NDSU needs to advance past Nicholls State. Stay tuned.
It's playoff time in Fargo once again.
Bison Information Network Sports Director Isaac Dienison joins us live with a preview of NDSU football's second-round game this weekend. Isaac?
Good evening, Heather and Lindsay. The Bison football team is back in the playoffs for the 10th straight season and are looking to take that first step towards a potential 3rd straight national championship. Top-seeded NDSU will host Nicholls State this Saturday at the Fargo Dome. I'm joined now by Ian Longton, sports editor of the NDSU Spectrum here on campus. Now, the first thing I want to touch on is this current NDSU winning streak. It's at 33 right now. That's tied for the all-time record. If the Bison are to win this weekend and get that record, how do you think this current run of success will be remembered in comparison to that 5-peat that we started the decade with here at NDSU?
Well, obviously with the 5-peat, I mean, you win 5 straight championships. I mean, you go down the record books. But this winning streak, you look at Division I college football, and they always list, like biggest winning streaks of all time. You got Ohio State, 47 straight games back in like the 40s. But this NDSU team, 33, maybe 47's not unreachable at this point. And when they always put up those lists, NDSU is always going to be there.
Now, as for this year, this Bison offense is currently at 2nd in the country in total offense and 4th in points per game. What do you think? Who do you think has been the biggest standout this year on that side of the ball?
I think it's got to be Trey Lance. When you go from Brock Jensen to Carson Wentz to Easton Stick, the transition to Trey Lance has just been seamless because he's efficient as a passer, but he just really just kills team with his legs. With the stable of running backs NDSU's got with Adam Cofield, true freshman Kobe Johnson, and actually Trey Lance is the second leading rusher on the team. When you got all that talent in the backfield, and it's just been really impressive.
On the flip side of the ball, the NDSU defense is 2nd in the country in total defense and number 1 in the nation scoring defense at just 12.3 points per game. What jumps out at you when you hear a stat like that?
Their front 7 is just creating pressure on the quarterback with, you got Derek Tuska, senior leadership, putting pressure on opposing quarterbacks, making them make quick decisions, bad throws. You don't really let teams get into their game plan very much. And so then the secondary can capitalize and pick the ball off and take it back to the house.
And final question here, keys to the game. If the Bison are to walk out of this game on Saturday with a victory, what do you think will be the biggest reason why?
I think it comes down to stopping Nicholls State run game. They just torched UND for over 300 yards on the ground. Their running back, Julian Gums, he's rushed for 100 yards in 4 of the last 5 games, and their quarterback, Chase Forcade, he's kind of like Trey Lance. They kind of mirror each other. They're really good in the passing game, but where they take teams down is running on the ground when they scramble. They get out of the pocket and they get to the second level. So if the defensive line and the linebackers can just keep those 2 guys contained, NDSU is going to be all right.
Thanks for joining me here today, Ian Longton. He's the sports editor of the NDSU Spectrum here on campus. You can catch his work online on the NDSU Spectrum's website or on newsstands all across campus. Elsewhere, the NDSU women's basketball program won its first game of the season Sunday, 67-61 over New Hampshire. The victory marks head coach Jory Collins' first as leader of the Bison and the 200th of his coaching career. Sofia Zovalovic had a career-high 28 points off the bench for NDSU to lead lead all scorers, and the team shot a season best 47.9% from the field. The Bison are back on the road against Bradley tonight, and they'll host the Wisconsin Badgers this Sunday at 2 p.m. And elsewhere, the NDSU wrestling team earned its third dual victory of the season Sunday with a 32-9 victory over Augustana on Sunday. The Bison fell behind 9-0 early, but rattled off 8 straight individual victories. Dylan Drugemuller started the NDSU rally with a victory at 141, and 9th-ranked Andrew Fogarty continued his undefeated start to the season with his 9th win at 165. The Bison will compete in an invitational out in Las Vegas starting tomorrow. And that's This Week in Sports. We'll send it back to the studio. Reporting live from the NDSU Spectrum office, Isaac Dienison, Bison Information Network News.
Thanks, Isaac. Still to come on Bison Information Network News, an opportunity to climb through the ranks.
What video game tournament is coming to the Union this weekend? We'll be right back.
As finals week approaches, students are preparing for their finals in many different ways.
Bison Information Network reporter Sam Goodman asked students what advice they have to prepare for Dead Week in this week's Bison on the Street.
Don't have bots. We don't have bots.
It appears we have some technical difficulties, so we will just do the last check of the weather.
Tomorrow we'll take a slight drop off with temperatures hanging around 20 degrees most of the day, but we'll rise back up to 32 for the football games this Saturday. After a chance of snow on Sunday, be prepared to bundle up. Just a high of 2 degrees expected for Monday and lower for the days following. Next Thursday should be above 0, which will be a good break after those previous 2 days. Next week we'll have your finals week forecast, so stay tuned.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a cold one. Might need some hat, gloves, maybe some snow pants. Who knows?
I don't know. Just anything to really keep warm. Maybe some hot cocoa or something.
Sounds like winter is taking full effect. That's all for us today. Thank you for joining us for the second to last edition of Bison Information Network News for the year.
Don't forget to catch us back here next Thursday night at 6.
Have a great night, everyone.